So yes, we already know that the iPhone 13 Pro on the right is going to be faster than the 11 Pro, but just by how much? How's it going, y'all? It is Ben Aqua, and thank you for joining me today in this extremely not scientific speed test. So really what I'm doing in this video is just opening a bunch of apps on each phone at the same time just to see which one is faster. And of course, the iPhone 13 Pro on the right is going to be a little bit faster because it has that A13 Bionic chip that just came out. And then the iPhone 11 Pro on the left has the A13 Bionic chip. And one of the things that makes the 13 Pro just seem a lot faster and work a lot faster is the ProMotion display, which gets up to 120 Hertz refresh rate, where there's no ProMotion on the 11 Pro. But when you swipe around, I mean, in the day-to-day, honestly, I don't notice it that much. Like the 13 Pro definitely seems smoother, but the 11 Pro really handles, most apps and stuff really well. Okay, so all of our apps are cleared out, as you can see. So now I'm gonna power down both of the phones and then power them back up, and we'll see which one loads faster. 3, 2, 1. And it looks like the 13 Pro came on about a second faster than the 11 Pro. So let's see which one ends up loading up first. And wow, so there you go. The 13 Pro is already up here, ready to go. That took maybe, 5 seconds or so. And then the 11 Pro took maybe 3 or 4 seconds more. Okay, so we are in on the phones. Let's do a test of Face ID. Swipe up. That was about the same. 13 Pro was slightly faster that time. Let's do that one more time. So the 13 Pro was definitely faster to unlock with Face ID, but not by that much. So let's open up some apps finally, because that's the point of this damn video. Okay, so let's open up weather. 13 Pro was slightly faster. Close that out. Let's try that again. They were almost the same, but the 13 Pro was a little bit faster. Okay, let's open up YouTube. 13 Pro already loaded. Barely faster than the 11 Pro, but interestingly, the 13 Pro took a little bit longer to load that preview video when I first opened the app. So let's try that one more time, close that out. 13 Pro was slightly faster, but again, the 11 Pro actually loaded that video a little bit faster and started playing that. So that was interesting. And if we scroll around a little bit, it seems like the 13 Pro is a little more sensitive to scrolling. Like when I'm scrolling up and down, the 13 Pro seems to scroll even more, if that makes sense. You get more kind of scrolling action. You don't have to work as hard to get it to scroll down. All right, so let's try to play an actual video here. Shout out to Gary, the Everyday Dad. 3, 2, 1. They both loaded at basically the same exact time. And the screens themselves look pretty similar as well, although the iPhone 13 Pro definitely has a slightly brighter screen. It gets a max brightness of, I think, 1,000 nits, where the 11 Pro gets 800 nits, but they're both plenty bright. Let's just go into my channel, and it looks like 13 Pro is slightly faster with doing that kind of stuff, just scrolling around a little bit. They really feel almost identical when you're actually using the apps and stuff. Like there's not a huge difference. So now let's try settings. And 13 Pro was barely faster. Let's try that again. 3, 2, 1. They were basically exactly the same. 13 Pro was maybe a tiny bit faster, but I can't really tell a gigantic difference. Yes, ProMotion does make this phone seem a little bit faster on the 13 Pro, but the 11 Pro, it handles almost everything very smoothly. Like this looks almost the same side by side. I'd probably have to slow this down to see which one is actually smoother. All right, let's go into Safari. 3, 2, 1. And the 13 Pro was slightly faster. All right, let's scroll a little bit and just go to an article, a random article here, hopefully something not too depressing. Here we go. Soccer. Oh, there's an abuse scandal. Damn it, human race. Why we need to spend $4 trillion. Sure, let's just tap on that. See, that was almost instant on both of these devices. Here we go. This is the best, fastest way to cool the planet this century. Okay, positivity. 3, 2, 1. 13 Pro was slightly faster. The 11 Pro makes text look slightly bigger for some reason. I'm not quite sure what that's about, but yeah, they are different sizes, and the 13 Pro is a slightly bigger screen. You get more screen real estate and a smaller bezel on the top. The 13 Pro is noticeably bigger, it's noticeably heavier, and honestly, I kind of prefer the 11 Pro when it comes to size and weight, but the 13 Pro has the better cameras, yada, yada, yada. Let's try another website here. Let's go to The Atlantic. 3, 2, 1. Instantly loaded on the 13 Pro, but the 11 Pro again was not that far behind. Now let's try CNN. 3, 2, 1. 13 Pro slightly faster again. I'm starting to see the pattern. Obviously, the 13 Pro is faster, of course, but the 11 Pro is really not that much slower, even though it's 2 years older. All right, so now let's open up activity. 13 Pro again was slightly faster, and let's tap on this so y'all can see how lazy I've been today so far. That was about the same in terms of speed, and scrolling is both very natural, really good on both of these. Fitness Plus, slightly faster on the 13 Pro. Now let's try Apple Music, one of my favorite apps. 3, 2, 1. 13 Pro faster. 11 Pro was maybe a second or two behind. But let's tap on this playlist. They opened about the same. 13 Pro is slightly faster. And by the way, if you want to hear some sweet tunes on Apple Music and Spotify, check out My Music, which is weirdly loading faster on the 11 Pro. Search for Ben Aqua in Apple Music and Spotify. And here's where you will find all of my quirky and bizarre pop music and synthesizer music. I highly appreciate all of your support. Please share my music with your friends and family and dogs and plants and stuff. Apple Music is about the same on both of these phones. All right, let's open up Discord. Faster on the 13 Pro for sure. Let's try that one more time. Slightly faster on the 13 Pro. And I also have a Discord channel called the House of Aqua. I would love to see y'all there. So the link to that will be in the description below if y'all want to join up with us. All right, let's try Spotify. Faster in the 13 Pro. Yeah, it's almost exactly the same once you're in the actual app, as you can see. Now let's try Twitter. 3, 2, 1. 13 Pro was almost instant, but the 11 Pro was right behind it. I'm trying to be a lot better at Twitter. I kind of neglected it for a long time. So please follow me on Twitter at B3NAQUA. I'll leave a link to that below as well. Highly appreciate all of your follows and stuff. But yeah, scrolling and everything just seems pretty natural on both of these phones. Just looking at images, squeezing in, squeezing out. It's basically the same exact experience with just a little bit better scrolling on the 13 Pro. Now let's try Instagram. 13 Pro slightly faster. Let's try Instagram one more time. 3, 2, 1. Barely, the 13 Pro is faster than the 11 Pro. Now let's try TikTok. 3, 2, 1. And be sure to follow me on TikTok as well. Hey, what's up, Patrick Tommaso? I do like that the 13 Pro has a slightly bigger display, but the colors and stuff, like the contrast, the general vibe of these two displays looks very similar. Let's open up the camera. 3, 2, 1. About the same, maybe slightly faster on the 13 Pro. Filmic Pro. Again, 13 Pro just maybe 1 second faster. Apple TV. Interestingly, the 11 Pro was actually a little bit faster there. Scrolling again seems about the same on both, with a little bit more smoothness on the 13 Pro. Now let's try Netflix. That looked exactly the same to me. Let's just play something random. Dark Crystal. 3, 2, 1. Looked about the same. Actually, the 11 Pro was slightly faster for some reason. Hulu. They opened almost immediately on both. And we have the 13 Pro slightly faster, but really not by much. Now let's try Amazon Prime Video. 13 Pro, about a second faster. Now Apple Podcasts. 3, 2, 1. 13 Pro was almost instant, as was the 11 Pro, but the 11 Pro was just a little bit slower, but not by much. I mean, this is really comparing like apples to apples, you know what I mean? Now let's try Asphalt 8 on Apple Arcade. This is a pretty amazing game if y'all haven't played it before. That almost opened exactly the same. 13 Pro is just a little bit faster. And you can see 13 Pro there loaded about 1 second to 2 seconds faster. I just love how fast these phones are. It really feels like phones have kind of plateaued, honestly. 13 Pro is definitely faster, it's better, this and that, cameras are better and all that. But really, if you have an 11 Pro, I don't really think you have to upgrade unless you need like the latest and greatest. So this is a new game that just dropped today, actually. It's called Thumper Plus on Apple Arcade. Opening sequence was almost exactly the same. Let's see which one loads up faster though. Looks like they might be identical here. Nope, the 13 Pro was actually slightly faster. Look how beautiful these screens are, by the way. I mean, this is just gorgeous. Both of these screens just are amazing. So yeah, 13 Pro is just a little bit faster, ready to play. So let's just play this game a little bit and see if I can tell any difference between the ProMotion display on the 13 Pro versus the 11 Pro with no ProMotion. So honestly, they look about the same. Actually, no, the ProMotion display is making a slight difference when it comes to just like speed and kind of smoothness. But I mean, look at this. They both look exactly the same, right? The kind of smoothness, like everything looks very similar, honestly. I'm not sure if this particular game is optimized for ProMotion displays yet to take advantage of that 120 hertz, but you know, these both look amazing. And yeah, either one of these are totally playable, both very, very responsive to my finger movements. And yeah, they just look gorgeous on these screens. So yeah, I think y'all get the picture, right? Both of these phones are incredibly fast. And even though the 11 Pro is 2 years older than the 13 Pro, the 11 Pro definitely still handles almost everything on this phone incredibly well, even without ProMotion display, even without the latest A15 processor. The A13 processor on the 11 Pro is still really amazing. That said, the 13 Pro is definitely a worthy upgrade if you have the money, because you're going to get the better cameras, you're going to get a ProMotion display, you're going to get more brightness and basically better everything. But if you have an 11 Pro and you're on the fence whether you should get the 13 Pro or not, I would save your money unless you're just like filthy rich, in which case just buy the damn thing already. But if you're on more of a budget, just keep your 11 Pro. It's totally fine in 2021, and there are rumors that the iPhone 14 is supposed to have a crazy new redesign or something. So if you have any questions for me about these tests, let me know in the comments, or if there's anything you would like me to test in particular, I'd love to see y'all down in the comments. Be sure to smash that like button on the way out. I highly appreciate all of your subscribes as well. If you're part of the hashtag AquaFam, give me a hashtag AquaFam in the comments below as well. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you in the next video.